So I've done this for about 5 years now in Japan. 3 years ago, I started a Japanese YouTube channel. Mostly to learn Japanese better. And it was more of a DIY channel. This is kind of DIY, I thought. And it is in a way, renovation DIY. And that was how I learned content creation and how to make movies and videos. And I think a Japanese viewer and a foreign viewer wants to see different things on YouTube. An inbound audience wants to see this is how Japan works. A Japanese audience wants to see this is how a foreign country works. So this is how a foreign culture, this is how it works in Sweden, this is how it works in the US. So I made a lot of cultural videos about Swedes. We're not using umbrellas. In Swedish houses, we have insulation. In Sweden, we don't have abandoned houses. And it grew pretty quickly. I have about 120,000 subs on that YouTube channel, even though I haven't really posted anything in about a year. When the second house was done, I felt a little bit empty. Like, okay, now I've been working for about a year, so hard, modeling, renovating. Finally, it's done. What should I do now? And I made 2 videos in English. Created new channels on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
Anton in Japan.
Anton in Japan. I remember sitting on a Mercedes-Benz showroom in Roppongi, close to where I lived for the first time when I came to Japan. And I called my friend like, hey, I'm starting an English channel. What's a good name? It's my friend Martin. He's also Swedish. He was like, yeah, I'll do like all the other YouTubers are doing. Something in Japan. Anton in Japan. And I started new accounts. Made 2 videos. Posted them. And they went viral, both of them. One of them had like 40 million views. Like the first video I made. And in 2 weeks, I had more subscribers on the English channel than I had on the Japanese channel.
Wow.
And I just thought people seem to enjoy this. So I just kept on going and kind of abandoned the Japanese channel.
So you started documenting a little bit the renovation process, making a lot of short form content, still to compare, to show what it's like in Japan,
Exactly.
Talking about IKEA, and maybe some longer videos as well to go more in depth into the renovation process. And
Yeah, but so all the content I filmed earlier was in Japanese. So it was very hard to kind of remake them into English. With my new house now, like I'm doing it the right way, and I'm really excited to actually, because I haven't really been doing any DIY for the past 9-10 months. It's more like repurposing the old videos. So now we're starting again, and I'm super excited about it.
finally being able to show the process from start to finish.
To show the process from start to finish with a higher quality of videos, and also like working with my own hands, because now I've been looking at hundreds of Akias, like which is the best one, which is a great one. And also like just woodwork, I just generally love it.
It seems like from all the DIY, you always get back to the wood, right?
Yeah.
The thing you grew up with,
Exactly.
building the tree houses. And in your videos, I noticed you talk a lot about, this oak wood or this wood or this wood. And,
Yeah. It's Japan is using a lot of hinoki and sugi. Hinoki is great. It smells all of these
cedar
woods.
tree, right?
Cedar, yeah. Hinoki is cypress.
Oh, cypress.
Sugi is cedar. Another favorite of mine is oak as well. And then they have beimatsu, which is a kind of pine as well. And I use a lot of pine for my walls. But these are all nerd terminology. So for someone who's just getting started, I think it will take some time to learn what wood is good for what purpose, really.
How did it change a little bit your day-to-day to go from you doing your modeling, doing your renovations, to having 2 videos go to over 40 million views and suddenly having hundreds of thousands of subscribers asking you questions, wanting to interact with you, wanting to see more of your content and your life?
It was overwhelming and fun, but also kind of draining in a way. Like I didn't at the time, I didn't have any social media manager or anyone like I could work with. It was just me. I just finished my house and I started putting up videos, and then suddenly you receive thousands of comments, sometimes a week, you know. I enjoy it now, but sometimes it's really overwhelming. I'm just one person and I didn't feel that I was enough. I have to answer everything. And if you got to answer everything, you got to...
You spend your day just answering questions,
exactly.
and you don't actually do the DIY and the recording.
And for what, really? Like, you never know who's on the other side of the screen and stuff. And also hate online as well. I've never met one single person being mean in real life. But online, it's like... If I have a bad day, you can feel it sometimes. But I think everybody does that.
It can be daunting, right?
It can be.
And
But most people... I would say 99% of fans and people reaching out are nice. Maybe even more, you know.
You mentioned earlier you get some questions about, I want to buy an Akia.
Yeah.
Do you also get people very interested into the actual process? And
A lot of people. I've been doing a lot of seminars lately with IKEA, Volvo, and real estate related stuff.
Swedish companies.
Also some American and some Japanese, but it's fun to work with your motherland sometimes. Yes, I get a lot of people very interested in the process, and also a lot of Japanese people interested in what should I do with my Akia? Can you renovate my Akia? Can you do something about my abandoned house I have? And during these 5 years, I've had 3 or 4 Japanese friends buying Akias and renovating them and having them as vacation homes, and that's really fun to see. And now people are interested mostly for... There's a lot of foreigners who has no connection with Japan reaching out, and I find it fun in some way, but also I think maybe I'm not the first person they should reach out to. I think maybe they should be here and do their own research first, or maybe read my book and actually like do their own research before just trying to buy something here.
So what is it that you'd like to share when you're creating your next project? Of course, you want to showcase the renovation process of your upcoming house and the ones after that. But is there something in particular that you want to build in terms of educational content, maybe teaching DIY renovation?
That's probably the next step. Now I'm doing one house fully for content. We'll create a beautiful Japanese Scandinavian house, and hopefully I can be to help some people. Educational content is probably coming next. I like design. Who doesn't like beautiful things? So for me, obviously this will hopefully this will generate money as well, like the house itself. But my main goal is to create like beautiful things that make sense financially as well. And if I can teach people how to do it as well without them stealing all my design sense, I would be very happy.
You're kind of building a self-sustaining system.
I think so, yeah. And as like in 2033, 22 million abandoned homes, I think it's just it's so sad to see some of these like old historical buildings just going to waste as well, and no one actually realized that it's value that's thrown away, really.
You renovate homes, you make videos, but you also wrote this book here.
Yes.
How and when came the book into play? Like writing a book is a whole other endeavor where you have to sit at the computer and you just type for...
Yeah, I was up until 5 a.m. for months. It started right after I posted those 2 videos on Anton in Japan. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of comments of people people didn't realize, I don't think anyone has done what I've been doing before and actually made content about it. So people had so many, I just wanted to share the truth, really. There are 10 million free houses in Japan, like anyone can get one, but foreigners can't own a house in Japan. And you have to pay taxes of millions of dollars in taxes just to get one of those free houses. Like there were so many myths that I felt kind of sickening.
You felt a responsibility to kind of
to clear out
the
all
misinformation about Akia in Japan.
So much misinformation. And I just read the comments on my channels for months, took notes. I had 20 pages of just notes and questions from people.
So this book is based on all the questions that
It's
people
based
have
on
asked
all
you.
the questions on all my social media channels. I do TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So just reading questions and then consulting with people. And then I had independent editors in Seattle who kind of like helped me with everything English related and everything. I wrote a book, and then they kind of desiccated it and made it into
This book.
project.